Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah.
I'm talking about some foot stomping, hand clapping church this morning.
Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength. Not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved, and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart, and God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread, healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory, we give you peace, we give you honor, we give you blessing, we give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you, the fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name, ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty, it's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes, You O Cubed. What does O Cubed stand for? One-on-one, because it's just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm glad that you joined me on this fine day. Today is Tuesday, you all, September the 19th in the year 2023. I tell you what, it's another day's journey, and I am so glad about it. Now listen, we're gonna get this party started and get this party crack-a-lacking, because we're gonna talk about a few things before we get up out of here this morning, and we're gonna have a good time doing it. How about that? Excuse me. Now, let me go over and do the VIP section. And listen, we had somebody that came in at 7:02 this morning, and I'm so glad to see you back. This is none other than my brother, Demon Fox to God. Come on in here, mad love to you. Now, Demon Fox to God said, good morning and grand rising, queens, kings, everybody on this Tuesday. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do when it comes to finding your passion and working towards your dreams. Peace and blessings, and thank you for that. You know, Demon Fox, when I read that this morning, quite genuinely, what came to my mind, I was watching Muhammad Ali in an interview, obviously several years ago, and he said, the minute you say, I can't, you just diminished yourself. The minute you say, I can't, you just diminished yourself. And that came to me when I read your statement on this morning, and mad love to you, my brother. Now, the third person in the Lion's Den this morning actually is one of our viewers, and I want to give it up for her. Joanna G. Come on in here, my beautifully blessed sister. Nothing but mad love to you. And thank you for coming in the Lion's Den VIP section this morning, because you were in here bright and early. I mean, I hit stream and Joanna was there. Good morning, and I appreciate you. Go ahead and sit down in that love seat right over there, sis. Go ahead and sit down right over there in that love seat and make yourself right at home. Now, the second person in the Lion's Den this morning, Sassy Cassie, children, listen, that is none other than our poet laureate. And here I go. There we go. I had to get you, girl. I had to get you. Here she is, and there we go with this beautiful sister. Uh-oh, here we go. What are we doing? I got tangled up, cheering. I got tangled up. You know, they used to sing a song back in the day, wrapped up, tied up, tangled up with Jesus. I got tangled up with my cords this morning, and I couldn't get my hand free, but there we go. That's my beautiful sister right there. Rebel, I got tangled up. Let me see, I might need to move that around, because I think we're going to have problems with that this morning. Now, the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair is none other than Dr. Dady Priest. You did that. Dr. Dady Priest, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair. Get your lips, get your hips, and get your fingertips right on in that chair, sis. Oh, yeah. You better dance your dance, girl. You better dance your dance. Listen, now, as we always like to say, the VIP section is to celebrate those that bring the love, joy, peace, soul, and happiness. Come on, Dr. Dady. That's the high priestess right there. The high priestess did that this morning. She did it. She did it. She did it. That's my girl, and nothing but mad love to you. She came in this morning trying to inquire, is there anybody online? Is there anybody online? Because listen, I'm telling you what, at 12 o'clock on the OO, it was like this, Dr. Dady. It was crickets, sis. It was crickets. Nonetheless, you did your good work this morning, and congratulations to you. Now, listen, I want to appreciate everybody that's in the Lion's Den, but this is my moment to really give appreciation to my moderators. I have the best moderators in the world. Please believe it. I have the best moderators in the world, starting with none other than Shelly Thunder. Yes, Shelly Thunder is the prophetess. Shelly Thunder, I see that, mod love, Dr. Dady Preach. Shelly Thunder is the prophetess that will give you a word in season. She'll also pray the prayer of faith over your life. I see that, mod love, BTD mom. She will do it. She will pray the prayer of faith over your life, but she'll also block your tail. Come in here cutting up. She's gonna block you, please believe it, as she would say if she was here. Sure will. Cassandra Woke, I see that, mod love. Come on in here. I see that, mod love. Then we're led by none other than the leader of the pack, the Rebel Ink. Yes, the galactic supervisor. She's my day one. She's my Ace Boon Coon. Listen, and the Rebel Ink is a streamer, you all. If you're not following the Rebel Ink, quit your ways. Just quit them, because I promise you, she will bless your whole entire life. I'll come back and talk about that just a little bit more after we finish with all of our preliminaries. Then we've got none other than the Quiet Storm. Yes, Michelle Brownell. She's my angel. Cassandra Woke, I see that, mod love. Yes, Michelle Brownlow is my angel because she, brothers and sisters, changes the atmosphere just by being in it. Nothing but mad love to you, and these three I call my blessed Trinity. Now, let me come around, as my mother said, when you come in the room, speak to somebody. When you come in the room, speak to somebody. Joanna G, as I said, was here as soon as I pressed stream. Blessed morning to you, and I appreciate you for being in the Lion's Den. Glenda M. Groves, that's my beautiful sister. Come on in here, and nothing but mad love to you holding it down in Twitchdom. And also in the good Facebook, so much mad love to you, and thank you for holding it down. Then I've got Cassandra Woke 2022. That's my poet laureate. That's my sister right there. Oklahoma, where the wind comes streaming down to Maine. Good morning to you, Cassandra, and mad love. Then I have my biggest big sister and my biggest big beautiful sister, Anita Harvey, otherwise known as BTD Mom. BTD Mom, Anita Harvey. So much mad love to you, and come on in here. You know I love me some you. CJ Manning is in the room cheering. And listen, CJ Manning is a streamer. If you're not following CJ Manning, quit your ways. Just quit them, because I promise you, you will be blessed. Then I've got Demon Fox to God is back in his real skin this morning. In his real name. Come on in here, and nothing but mad love to you, Demon Fox to God. This brother right here is such a blessing, and I appreciate you for being here this morning. Retta Divine. It's Mo Better with Retta. Come on in here. She is a streamer, you all. If you're not following Retta Divine, quit your ways. Just quit them, because I promise you, Retta's gonna bless you real good. Good morning to you, my sister, and nothing but mad love to you. Then coming on down, and one journey make it count, I see in the room. Come on in here, and nothing but mad love to you. There's Demon Fox to God streaming. If you're not following Demon Fox to God, quit your ways. Just quit them. Demon Fox to God's gonna bless you real good. I promise you, he will. One journey, make it count. We only got one. We only got one. Please make it count. Good morning to you. I hear you say you're at work, but you're here supporting. Thank you so much, One Journey, make it count. I appreciate you. And my journey is going well. It is a journey of good grief, but it is moving. Thank you for asking, and I appreciate the concern. Dr. Dady Priest. Yes, the high priestess is in the room this morning cheering. There she is, and she's the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair, but she's also a streamer, and she will teach you that engagement matters. If you're not following Dr. Dady Priest, quit you in your ways, because I bless you. I promise you, she's going to bless your whole life. Now, listen, let me back up. And One Journey Make It Count is a streamer, you all. If you're not following One Journey Make It Count, quit you in your ways. Quit them, because I promise there's a blessing in the pressing. You will get it if you get over there. Coming on down, and I'm seeing who came in the room, but the Rebel Inc. I'm going to talk about the Rebel Inc. just a little bit later. But listen, that is my day one. That's my Ace Boon Coon. That is the galactic supervisor, not the district supervisor, not the state supervisor, not the national supervisor. She's the galactic supervisor, and she's a streamer. And if you're not following the Rebel Inc., quit your ways. Just quit them, because I promise you, she will bless your whole life. And I got something to say about that in just a minute. Coming on down in the gift, Nathan Lamont. That's my baby right there. That's my sweetheart. And you know all I need from you is one good squall. This is my singing baby. And baby, when I tell you he's going to sing for you, he's going to tear it up. I love me some you, and thank you for coming in here this morning. Mad love, mad love. Cassandra wrote 2022. Good morning to you, sis. Nothing but mad love to you. That's our poet laureate, and so much love coming your way. I appreciate you for being in the house this morning. Now, listen, as we come on down, and I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice. I'm going to find out who's naughty and who's nice. And it's K2 Hoop. K2 Hoop, good morning to you. I love this sister right here. I love her. I love her for her activism. I love her for her energy. I love her because this sister is all the way real. I love me some you. Stacy 546, that's my sister from the Bonner Springs, Kansas. Come on in here, Stacy. Nothing but mad love to you, and good morning, good morning, good morning. Now listen, to everybody that's not in my chat, but you're here in the stream listening, I want to appreciate you. I absolutely positively do. You are my blessing, and thank you for being here. Now let's get this party started. Let's get this party crack-a-lacking and rolling, because it was reported to me. Go ahead and get those coffee cups out. Get those coffee cups out, y'all. Get those coffee cups out, because it was reported to me. And we're going to talk about a few things on this morning. We are going to talk about a few things on this morning, and get on up out of here. I see those coffee cups, Rebel Inc. I see those coffee cups, BTD Mom. I see those coffee cup, K2 Hoop. I see those coffee cups, Dr. Dady Priest, Stacy 546. I see those coffee cups. Now let's get some. Are y'all ready for this? Let's chick my evangelist. I see your coffee cups, and good morning to you. Listen, when I tell you, this is my poster baby for boss energy, I mean that with my whole shando from my chest. This baby right here is the manifestation of boss energy all day long. I call her the evangelist because she goes into the highways and hedges and compels men and women and boys and girls to come in. And I appreciate you for that. Now let's get some fresh brew. Hey! Hey! Get your coffee cup. Get your coffee cup. Now listen, what had happened was, K2 Hoop, you better break it off. What had happened was, whilst we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, Chick, I see those coffee cups. I see those coffee cups. And you better break it off, K2 Hoop. You better shake your shimmy. Shake it. Because whilst we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, there are a few things that happened that I want to talk about this morning. I'm going to start with this story, which is very disturbing to me. And, you know, we'll have a little convo around it if you don't mind. But this is trending this morning, and I hate to see it. I hate to hear it, but it's really what's going on out here in these streets. Now, what my question is what's really going on with this scenario? And some of you have already seen it potentially. I don't know. But at the end of the day, It's really sad. It's sad to me.
Article that provided
And
a little bit.
I want to cover it on this morning. Now, this black football player who is missing in action while his mother is found deceased, and with the Saints trying to figure out what happened. And it appears that something foul may have happened that involved him. Now, what I want to get to is how did we get here? Because at the end of the day, they're really talking about mental health and this and that and the other. But I would like to approach it from a different angle, because the first thing that came to my mind was not just merely a matter of mental health. And I don't know, because I don't know the situation in totality. But inquiring minds, as far as myself, wants to know, because I think it may be a little more than that. Let's listen to this story, and it's really heart-wrenching.
More detail about the case. On Sunday, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office identified Myrtle's cause of death as multiple injuries from assault. When police continued searching for Sergio, they talked to some neighbors, and one of the neighbors, Carlos Cortez, told them that he last saw the mother and son on Thursday in person. The police also checked out his Ring doorbell camera, where they saw Sergio coming out, taking out the trash, and then they also seen him have a bonfire where he was burning his mother's clothing. Now, the neighbor also went on to say that Sergio hadn't been himself for the last few months, and he was out of his mind. He adds that while police have been called to the home before, he hopes Saturday was the final time he'll see police lights and crime scene tape. Sergio's brother, Nick Brown, made a status on Facebook and said, "Thank you everyone for all of your outreach, help, love, and condolences. It's a sad but hopeful time, and we will all get through this together. Mom always told me tough times don't last, and our last conversation about tough times being temporary is my beacon of hope. Mom, thank you for being strong, caring, diligent, fancy, funny, and for saving my art. I won't let you down. My brother Sergio is still missing. If anyone knows where he is, I want him to know that." So as of this...
So you hear there, MCP 812, my beautiful sister, cousin, pastor friend. Come on in here, and it's good to see you on this morning. Yes, Dr. Dady, this is so tragic. Now, I will say, while definitely there is a lot of energy that is going towards the idea that this is a mental health issue, I won't disagree with that to some extent. However, I feel like there may be more to this story than meets the eye. Now, here we have my sister who is going to basically dissect it from her angle and her perspective. But again, I want to have some more conversation about it's covered with the breastplate of righteousness. You know what? Y'all. Y'all are silly. Y'all are just straight silly. Bronx Harlem girl, come on in here, sis. So much mad love to you. MCP 812, thank you all for coming in. I love you. I love you. I love you. Y'all are just a mess. Y'all are just a mess. You posted this yesterday, I know. And I'm going to show this version. There are several different commentaries out there about this situation. I also want to deal with the good doctor here, who is addressing the mental health element that's involved. But here you go.
Ahmad Shakur. The police are still searching for ex-NFL football player Sergio Brown. He and his mother both came up missing, and then her body was sadly found on Saturday. Let's get into it. Myrtle's sister, Sheila Simmons, says the family searched the property for Myrtle on Saturday. They didn't come up with anything, but when they went back to take another look, they found Myrtle's body next to the Addison Creek Reservoir, less than 100 yards from her Chicago suburb. The police haven't released many details on Myrtle's demise, but her death has been ruled a homicide by the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. They also say that she suffered numerous injuries and that this was the result of an assault. Myrtle's sister says that she last spoke with her on Thursday. Also, a neighbor, Carlos Cortez, says that he saw both Sergio and Myrtle on Thursday. And also, the police have uncovered some shocking footage. They see images on video footage of Sergio burning what looks to be like his mother's clothing. And also, family members say that in the last few months, he hasn't been himself. He's been completely out of his mind. Please pay attention. The neighbor also says that the family came knocking on his door looking for Myrtle, saying that they'd already filed a missing persons report because they hadn't been able to find her for 72 hours. He also says that he and other neighbors got together and spoke with police in order to try to help them establish a timeline.
In Maywood,
whole block was filled with family and police.
Carlos Cortez was present and curious as to what was going on in his neighborhood Saturday. He later learned there was concern surrounding his next-door neighbors, 73-year-old Myrtle Brown and her son, 35-year-old former NFL safety Sergio Brown.
Her family came and knocked on the door and was looking for her because they put out a police report. She was missing for 72 hours. So we try to help them as much as possible.
Just hours into the search with no signs of Myrtle or Sergio, police decided to widen the search area. It was Saturday evening when they found Myrtle's body unresponsive in this creek, less than 100 yards from her home.
Myrtle, she was an outstanding woman, and I'm hoping that she's in the right place, and I hope she's with God. And like I said, I would never expected this in a million years.
While police search for Sergio, neighbors are assisting with the timeline. Cortez tells us he last saw the two Thursday in person, and on his Ring doorbell, police saw something else.
They seen him taking out the trash, and they seen him had a bonfire where he burnt all her clothes.
What was captured on camera is similar to what Cortez says he's learned from family.
They said he wasn't himself the past few months. He was out of his mind.
He says while police have been called to the home before, he hopes Saturday was the final time he'll see police lights and crime scene tape.
I just hope that the family has closure, and I'll be praying for them, and I hope the family gets through this, and I'll keep them in mind in my prayers.
In a post on Facebook, Myrtle's son Nick Brown released a statement saying his mother always told him tough times don't last, while also telling his brother Sergio he loves him and asking him to return home.
Now, this has been a very sad turn of events. My heart and condolences go out to the family for their loss of Myrtle. I hope that Sergio comes back home soon and that he's safe and sound. At the end of the day, the family said that he's been acting out of his mind for the last few months. It's very concerning. Mental health issues are a serious issue, and a lot of people of my skin tone don't want to address mental health issues, don't want to go and get therapy or seek counseling, because we're so used to holding things inside and dealing with things ourselves. But that is a stigma that we really need to get over, because these are serious things, and a lot of the traumas that people deal with can overcome them in some cases. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going on with Sergio. I think that something mentally may be going on because they say he's out of his mind. But as far as the trauma and all of that, I'm not relating that to him, just to people in general, because we all go through things. Sadly, some of us don't seek help or don't try to have someone we can sit down and confide in and talk to, but rather keep things bottled up inside. And that can lead to some very serious consequences. With that all being said, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Now, there you have it. And they kind of put it out in both of those. I wanted to play both of them because they had good information. Obviously, the echoing of the neighbor and what was going on there. Now, this is where I am. And K2 Hoop, you and I are on the same page. We are on the same page. Now, 100 yards, the Rebel, exactly 100 yards is you know, the length of a football field. Stacy 546, what do they mean out of his mind? I don't know, but whatever they mean by it, they said he had been that way for a couple of months, as reported by the family and the neighbors that were engaged with him. And oddly enough, it's really something. Now, I'm with right where K2 Hoop is, and that's the part that nobody wants to talk about. So yes, I agree. Mental health issues in the Black community definitely needs to be addressed. Come on, thank you for that, Bronx Harlem girl. Text 741-741, which is the crisis line. Dial 988 suicide prevention hotline. Thank you for that intel, and we'll continue to post that for people. And understand, as we get closer to the holidays, the major holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, the suicide rate increases, the aggressive behaviors between families where you get very, very violent acts that tend to escalate from, maybe some minor assault charges, whatever the case may be. I used to be a manager in the domestic relations department for the city of Kansas City, Kansas, and I can attest to you, the numbers always went up. Listen, full moons, we always knew there was something that was going to go on with the full moon. I would tell those that worked in the office, get ready because it's a full moon. Some people make it as a joke, but there's something that actually statistically we can see when that full moon is up. And know that you are 75% water. So when the full moon, the same way it pulls on the tides, it pulls of water that you see out, there's also a pull of the tides of the water in your body. And listen, when I tell you folks start cutting up at full moon, but please believe it, when it gets extremely hot outside, we always saw an increase in violent behavior. And also when we came into the swing of the holidays, the major holidays of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, we might as well get ready. I told the staff in my office, get ready, because it's going to be an onslaught of people coming in, because that's when cases start happening. So definitely, I want us to be aware. Black people know the years ago, mental health was used as a weapon against Black people, non-white people, women, and retarded, I think you mean. One journey, make it count. Absolutely. Women would be committed for many reasons, drugs, experimented on, and more. Absolutely. And that's some real stuff. Stacy 546, as a police officer, as a retired police officer, Stacy 546 is attesting to the fact of what I'm saying, that the full moon, the holidays, and heat are three major contributors to an increase in erratic and just insane behaviors. So now this is what I want to address with K2 Hoop, and you're hitting the nail on the head that I want to address. I really, really feel, that we have missed so much in telling this story, because my question begs to be answered: is this CTE? And our Black football players, we really. I'm gonna say it like this. Flirt 192. Good morning to you. And someone else came in, I think, while the video was playing. Let me scroll back up. Diane, the BX. Good morning. Good morning to both of you. And welcome to the Lion's Den. Yes, that's what I wanted to get to. CTE. CTE is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Encephalopathy. I really can't talk, y'all, but my tongue is doing something different this morning. So I wanted to bring that in because Black folks, we need to be aware. Now, I feel like, and I think one of the first cases that got major attention on this was, I want to say, Hernandez, that played for the Patriots. You all correct me if I'm wrong. Hernandez, who played with the Patriots. If I've got the wrong, I think his name was Hernandez. And they claim they can only diagnose it after the person is deceased. And at the end of the day, that's a hard one for me to believe. Tall pumps is, you know what? I got to do this because I haven't seen you for a day or two. I'm going to do it. Tall pumps is pumping tall, and it's a poll call. Hey! Get it now. Look back at it. And she's ready, y'all. Y'all see, she had her finger on the trigger. Eileen sideways reporting for duty. Tall Pumps is on the pole. Swing Low is in the mix. Pumps. You know I had to give it to you. That's my sister right there. And you know I love me some you. Sassy, sliding, gliding. Get above my Tuesday ride. Spicy Brown is here. Come on in here. That's what we doing for a poll call. I love me some you, Tall Pumps. I love me some you. Listen, I'm enjoying it every minute I get. I love it. I love it. I love it. And mad love right back to you. That is my gorgeous sister from the Chi-Town. Come on in here. And it's good to have you in here this morning. Now, let's get back to this CTE, y'all. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And I want us to talk about this because I do want us to address I'm going to say we make a trade-off for the money. I'm going to say we make a trade-off for the money because now, if you stop and think about it, I look and I say, you take these huge brothers that are out here on this football field and the way they hit each other. Can you imagine how much your body, especially the head area, and this deals with the brain, anytime you see ENCEPH, you're going to be talking about somebody's brain. So listen, when you get to the point where you imagine how these many hundreds of pounds gentlemen are running at each other and banging their heads as hard as they can to stop these folks so that they don't score. And at the end of the day, we don't want to deal with the reality that there is a serious trauma that is being enacted against these individuals. So this part right here, the first thing that came to my mind, K2 Hoop, as everybody was talking about the mental health, the first thing that came to my mind was CTE, especially when they started talking about he had started acting erratic for several months. Now, somebody does bring out the point that there is a Baker's Law, which basically allows you to be able to, the Baker Act, to be able to have someone in a mental crisis. You can have either the doctor, the police officer, a psychiatric facility, worker. Any of these individuals can have the Baker Act and take these people into safekeeping so that they don't harm themselves and or others. Now, y'all remember that the Baker Act, if you ever find yourself in a situation, because the first thing that I thought about was his poor mother. Now, I want you all to hear me and hear me well, because a lot of times when our children are in crises, we're very slow to pull the trigger to get them some help because we feel, as I feel surely this mother no doubt felt, he's been this way for 2 months. She was trying to handle that thing in the home. Now, let's deal with some realities of why she wanted to handle it in the home. If I call the police and my big adult son, that is a former NFL player, my big strapping black son is not acting in his mind, if I call the police, my son is liable to wake up dead. Now, you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. My son, who is really having a mental crisis issue or something that's going on, and at this point, I'm going to go beyond mental health, and I'm going to say, I really would love for them to go ahead and do the autopsy, because I would almost venture to say, in my mind, 99 and 99, 100%, he's probably going to have been an individual with CTE. Now, but at the end, which is that is a physiological thing. That is not a mental thing. That is a physiological thing. I don't know how many black people know about the Baker Act, but that's why I'm putting it out there this morning, BTD Mom. There is the Baker Act, and it's used when someone is having a mental crisis and poses a threat to themselves and or others. The Baker Act, when someone is having a mental health crisis and they pose a threat to themselves or others. So the Baker Act, I want you to burn that into your brain for mental health crisis situations that may involve you or your loved ones. The Baker Act. We don't have to wake up dead just because folks show up and start killing us in some kind of a crisis. Now, but I will say this mother probably would not. You just learned about it, Dr. Dady. Come through. So this is, and that's why we're here. We try to get information, the Baker Act. That's it, Tall Pumps. I try to get information into our hands, knowledge that we can deal with. Jazzy Mimi, come on in here. So much love to you. Mad love, mad love. Thank you for coming in the Lion's Den. You knew the criteria. You just didn't know the name of the act. It's called the Baker Act, B-A-K-E-R, just like Tall Pumps just put in there, so that you can have something to arm yourselves with in the event. There's Jazzy Mimi. Ain't she jazzy, y'all? Come on in here. Now, this right here. So you have this mother who apparently for a couple of months, it's reported to me that the family members as well as the neighbors were saying he was acting, quote, out of his mind for the last couple of months. So at the end of the day, you have this mother, and it's so unfortunate. Let's call a spade a spade. It's so unfortunate that black people are scared to call the police in a given situation because they're afraid they're going to wake up dead or their loved ones are going to wake up dead. So that's just a reality for everybody that wants to judge and say, why didn't she just call the police? Why didn't she? Why didn't she? Why didn't she? Because we walk around in black skin in a racist America. That's why we don't. And can I just break it down like that? Because we walk around in black skin in a racist America. That's why we don't call. And for everybody that wants to say racism is over and as of the 60s, that was all eradicated, we walk around in black skin in a right now racist America. That's why we don't do it. So you have this mother at home who's trying, obviously, to endure and deal with this baby that everybody, I mean, almost everybody that was aware of the situation said he's been acting out of his mind for the last couple of months. And this is what I want to pose to the black community mothers. This is, and I'm sincere about this. I want to pose this to the black community mothers. If your child starts acting out of character and acting differently, how and when do you determine what resources of help you have available to you and when to get them some help? When you get them some help. Your grandson is mentally ill, and you've had to use the Baker Act several times because he would refuse help. Come on with that, Jazzy Mimi. And thank you for being transparent in that. And I'm glad to hear that the Baker Act has worked for you. That's why I'm trying to put this in your arsenal, listeners. I'm trying to put this in your arsenal. The Baker Act. When you need to use it, please do. Now, but I still want to ask this question of the mothers that are in here. When do you determine, because at some point, I guess I feel that we as black mothers will feel this is my child. My child would never hurt me. I'm going to go to the nth degree with this child without necessarily getting them the help that they need because you feel like you're trying to handle it in your household. If you would do that, if you know, come on, black mothers, be honest with me. If you know if your child was acting erratic and acting out of order, and you would try your very best, especially if it was a black male child, especially if it's a black male child that is built, you would probably not reach out for help. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel comfortable to. If you don't, this may be an uncomfortable situation. But the point that I'm trying to get to is many times, and the Marchman Act, for substance abuse. So this is where I just want you to think about it. How does the act help exactly? Does it stop the police from killing them? You know what, Tall Pumps, it gives them basically the right to be able to have your whoever the loved one is admitted into a psychiatric facility for help against their will. That's the gist of it. To take someone that is having some sort of mental crisis, to be able to have them admitted into a psychiatric facility for help against their will. Now, nothing's going to stop the police from killing you if they want to kill you. And that's all I can say to that. I feared for my life. We saw the instance, if you all remember some time back, y'all remember when the social worker had someone that he was working with, and the young man was lying on the ground. He did everything they told him to do, and they shot the boy anyway. Some of you all may remember that. It maybe was a year or two back. And I streamed that, where the police, even though, and as the social worker said, but he was doing everything you all asked him to do, and he was lying down on the ground, and they shot that boy graveyard dead. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That happened in Chicago. Come through. So, at the end of the day, my mind goes back to that video, and I remember how that social worker was really trying his best to work with those police officers, but they wasn't trying to hear it. And they just, can you explain it to me, Lucy? Explain it to me, Lucy. How this young man and the social worker was telling them what state the young man was in. And the young man honestly was not posing a threat. The young man, I don't care what nobody says, that young man was posing a threat. And those police officers, while he lie on the ground, shot him graveyard dead. So at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying, Tall Pumps, in questioning the idea of calling the police to have him now, this to me, and I'm going to come here, and this is the conversation that came up around that scenario of the video that I played. Many people were calling for defunding the police and reallocating those resources to others that could, instead of sending police on a mental health crisis, if we can use the Baker Act, wouldn't it make sense to actually have money set aside for people in the psychiatric field? I mean, I'm just crazy. Something about my crazy mind. Wouldn't it make sense, instead of sending the police out there armed with bullets and guns and tasers and batons, wouldn't it make more sense to send a psychiatric, someone that is trained out there to those locations to be able to deal with those situations, to be able to enact the Baker Act? Sheila Stillman, that's my beautiful sister. Come on in here, my sister. Mad love to you. Good morning. Wouldn't it make more sense when we talk about defunding the police? We're saying reallocate the funds. Reallocate the funds. Take the money out of the hands of folks that are going out there shooting to kill, even in a mental health crisis, when the baby's laying on the ground and is not posing a threat to anybody. And the social worker is telling you this is what's going on. It's all good. And you shoot them dead anyway. Anna Joe Jones, come on in the room, and so much love to you. Come through, come through. It makes sense to me, Tall Pumps, that money needs to be reallocated, because we're tired of our children being in mental health crises, and that automatically says they got to wake up dead because some police officer feared for their lives, even when the baby's laying on the ground with the hands up. Explain that to me, Lucy. Now, so I want to really, at the end of the day, the Baker Act, y'all remember that. If you need the Baker Act, yes, we want to send some real assistance, not psychologically challenged popo. Absolutely, Cassandra Woke. So this is where I think I turn and deviate from where everybody else is on this conversation. And I feel like we need to deal with this idea of understanding CTE. Now, first and foremost, here we go. I've got the definition up here for you. CTE is a degenerative brain disease that can only be diagnosed, I can't read today, during an autopsy after the death of the sufferer. Now, that part right there, I guess there's a part of me. Now, we can pretty much test for anything else. I find it really, really hard to believe that the only way, and especially since it impacts mostly black men, black male athletes that keep coming up with this from the instance of head trauma over and over again. At the end of the day, I find it, sus. SK8843, you're here right on time. That's my beautiful sister. It's sus. It's sus to me that they can only determine it after death. Come on. I something in me just doesn't believe that. I'm gonna tell the truth, shame the devil. For me, I just don't believe that to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Why? Because who does it largely impact? Black males, especially black males that are in contact sports. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. It largely affects black males and black males in contact sports. You pray all the time because your grandson is 6'5" and over 200 pounds, homeless because he has violent tendencies and refuses to take medication. I hear you, Jazzy Mimi. I hear you on that. And listen, we're gonna stop even right here in the Lions Den, and we're sending up prayers for your grandson, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, because of the system and where we live and the way we live in these here United States of America, he is under threat by the system. And so we're praying for him and with you that the Lord would cover him as only the Lord can. They can see everything in the brain. The MRI can't believe. Listen, Bronx Harlem girl, I don't believe it. Let me tell you what I feel with regard to that, and put those prayer hands in the chat. Put those prayer hands in the chat, because we're praying. Now, I believe they do not want the diagnosis made because do you know how much money they make from these contact sports? Do you know how much money they make from these contact sports? Now, I'm going to say this, and y'all can get mad at me, but these white owners of these ball clubs, and I'm going to put this up because this is trending this morning as well, and I feel some kind of way about this too. These white owners of these organizations, I was trying to think how do I want to phrase it, but these sporting organizations, at the end of the day, they make bank off of these black bodies. Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it and I'm going to make somebody mad. They care more about their cat and their dog and will spend more on their cat and their dog than they will these black bodies out here working like horses on a football field. I said what I said, and I'll add to it before I take it back. They care more about their cat and their dog than they care about these black football players. Good morning to you, Jeezy. Come on in here. So much mad love to you. Good to see you here this morning. Now, why do I say that? Baby. Do y'all know, and let's just deal with this, and let's call a spade a spade. Y'all know that, anytime they show what could be perceived as animal cruelty, they gotta put on the screen in the credit somewhere, no animals were harmed During the filming of this event, no animals were harmed during the filming of this event because, baby, if God forbid one of those harmless little animals, one of those harmless little creatures, one of those beautiful creations of God, if something were to happen to one of those animals, they would have everybody and their mama out there with Peter and everything else marching and crying and snotting and getting laws changed, getting laws passed. Do you understand the words coming out of over a dog, over a cat? And when it comes to black bodies, they say, shut up and dribble. I said what I said, and I'll add to it if I take it back. When it comes to black bodies, and I know I said dribble, I'm talking about basketball, because for whatever reason, basketball, in my opinion, has become a contact sport. When did that happen, Larry Bird? I said what I said, and I'll add to it for back. When did basketball... When did basketball become a contact sport? Larry Bird. I said what I said. The Birdman that they love so much, and they was out there just beating folk down on the basketball court. And we can't get an anti-lynching law, Kai Chick. So at the end of the day, this is where I want us to identify. They dragged Michael Vick up and down social media over some dogs. But y'all got these football players out here, and you know CTE is prevalent and likely, but nobody wants to say anything. And that's why I wanted to bring attention to that. I really, really did. I wanted to bring attention to that this morning because very few, listen, when it comes to the whole CTE piece to this puzzle, you listen, CTE and really addressing it from that angle. I couldn't hear nobody pray. We want to, okay, we'll go to mental health. I'll give you that. But in my opinion, the likelihood that this baby has CTE is almost 100% in my mind. You'll have to really do something to convince me otherwise. My angel, Michelle Browner was in the house. Thank you for that resub. We're building something. Come on in here. Nothing but mad love to you. And I appreciate you for that resub because we're building something. Come on in here, my sis. Come on in here. Mad love. We will shut up and dribble when you make it rain big and extra huge bucks. Better yet, you can go get in the court and try to be a winner. Come on. Come out and be the athlete. Now, that's where I'm going, Cassandra Woke. That's where I'm going. SK 8843. Okay, thank you. That's my sister. Okay. Oh, there we go. It's a raid. Kim Blue, come on in here, sis. Mad love. Come on. Kim Blue is a streamer, y'all. If you're not following Kim Blue, quit your ways. Quit them. Come on in here, sis. It's so good to have you and your family in here. Thank you for bringing your peeps over here to the Lion's Den. I appreciate you. Miss KB, come on in the room. My Lock Journey, there's my Lock Whisper. Come on in here, Jackie 0722. New York Rican Mama, come on in here. Mad love to you. I know DJ LV, come through. He is a streamer, y'all. And if you're not following I Know DJ LV and My Lock Journey, quit your ways. Quit them. Because there go gonna bless your whole entire life. Dr. Donna is here. Come on in here. C Love 702, Misty Blue. I see you, Brooklyn baby. Come on in here, Miss Love, Miss LV. Come on in here, DJ Vader Mix. Come through. Mad love to you. One Reason, the Bishop of Twitch. Come on in here, Shimmer. Come on, glad to have you in the Lions Den. Disco Darren, come on in here. Disco Darren and One Reason are both of them are streamers of Twitch, and if you're not following them, quit your ways, quit them. The call is, come on in here. Leroy Brown, come through. Brooklyn baby 204, so much mad love to you. Good to have you in the house. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but welcome. It's a raid. Woo! Big Moochie, baby! Come on in here, and we're glad to have you. Oh! It's a phone call, too! That was an accident. Now, listen, I appreciate everybody that came over on that raid. And Kim Blue, thank you so much. Kim Blue is a streamer, you all. And if you're not following Kim Blue, quit your ways. Just quit them. And thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate you, sis. Nothing but mad love to you. Nothing but mad love to you. Now, as we were talking about this egregious story going on with my brother, and talking about the Bakers Act in the situation with Sergio Brown, and at this point, it seems as though he has killed his mama. Now, it just by looking at the circumstances and what it looks like, is very like, oh, it's a hype train. Thank you so much for the hype train. Thank you for the Roaring Biddies, BTD Mom. Thank you for the Roaring Biddies, SK8843. I appreciate you, and thank you. As I say, you never have to do it, but I appreciate you, because we're building something. We absolutely positively are. Dr. Dady Priest, thank you for the biddies. Come on, Bronx Harlem girl, thank you for the biddies. I appreciate y'all. I love you so much. I really, really do. Now, I want to get back to this issue of CTE and the fact that we have immediately jumped to Sergio having mental illness, but almost nobody, there's Disco Darren, almost nobody has addressed the idea. Tall Pumps is pumping tall. Thank you for those Roaring Biddies. We're building something. Come on with that resub One Reason 26 months in a row. I love you, my brother, and I appreciate you, because we're building something. I appreciate you. DJ TNT Auto Detailing, come on in here, who's also a streamer. If you're not following DJ TNT Auto Detailing, quit your ways. Just quit them, because I promise you there's a blessing in the pressing. Now, this is where I want to go here. We're not talking about the CTE because it's about the money. It's about the money. Because I definitely believe that at the end of the day, and I'm gonna make some folks that love your football, Shelly Thunder. Good morning. Come on in here, sis, and mad love to you. Now, this is where I feel like the rubber's gonna meet the road, because this is money that we're talking about. And the reason why, oh, wrong one. The reason why ain't nobody saying about Sergio, and we want to immediately go to mental health, but nobody. The call is 06. Thank you for those Roaring Biddies. We're building something. Dr. Donna Dundas, we're building something. Thank you for those Roaring Biddies. I appreciate you so much. Mad love. Now, very few people are saying anything about CTE. Why? Because it's money. Now, this is One Reason. There's so much about football that you're over. I hear you, One Reason. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to really put the rubber to the road. I'm going to really push this, because at the end of the day, the reason why they do it is because the market is there. Do y'all understand the words coming out of my mouth? The reason why they do it is because the money is there. Now, nobody has said that this could be, well, I'm not going to say nobody because there are some of us out there that immediately, when we heard this story about Sergio Brown, immediately, it sounds like all the signs and symptoms. My Lock Journey, thank you for those roaring biddies. We're building something. Sounds like all the signs and symptoms of CTE. But folks ain't talking about that. Shimmer, y'all. Come on in here. 200 biddies, I appreciate you. We're building something. Thank you so much for those roaring biddies. I appreciate you. Now, nobody's going to say anything about it. Who's over football season already? Come on, Disco Darren. Because at the end of the day, we do not address how we are utilizing sports. And I know there are a lot of good things that can come out of sports. I know there's a lot that young people can learn from team activities, all of that good stuff. But we're talking about, we've taken this to a whole nother level on steroids. A whole nother level on steroids. So at the end of the day, nobody wants to talk about anything about the possible situation of Sergio actually having CTE. We want to immediately go to mental health. But listen. And this is what I was saying when the raid took over. And thank you so much. But I want to go back and I want to readdress. We have these white owners that care more. Be careful, Michelle. We have white owners who care more about their dog and their cats than they care about the people they got out here on these football fields. I said what I said, and I'm going to add to it if I take it back. They care more about animals than they do about black human beings. And we just keep on feeding into this system. Now, whilst that is being said, let's deal with this because this is trending this morning. It actually started trending last night because at the end of the day, this is what this joker had to say. Terry Pegula of the Buffalo Bills. And this just came out, y'all. If the black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is. I'm gonna just let that marinate. Yes, SK88 for you. This is what this man let slip through his lips. But it's really what he meant. I'm gonna let it simmer, the Rebel Inc. I'm gonna just let it simmer. We won't talk about CTE and the damage it's doing to our young black men. We won't talk about that. Won't treat it. In my opinion, lie and say they can't diagnose it till after you die. Honey, listen, I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. And I'm going to say this all with my whole chest.
Why you always lying?
Now, at the end of the day, you got all of us sitting down. Now, can I come here? This is Buffalo Bill. Now, for everybody, and I lose all kind of folks over this. DJ Molly Party, come on in here, DJ Vader Mix. These are two awesome streamers right here. If you're not following DJ Vader Mix, if you're not following DJ Molly Party, quit your wicked ways. Just quit it, because they gonna bless your whole life. I promise you they will. Now, you bet the Bills owner voted for Trump, Leroy Brown. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Now, listen. The words from his mouth reflect what's in his toxic heart, Dr. Dady. Now, this is why I'm looking, now, come on, y'all. I know y'all not going to like me. I'm looking at us, and why do we continue to jump in this line? To be beat up, abused, and used by these owners, and then because at the end of the day, when your star power is gone and when all of your athleticism has been used up and you probably leave injured, they gonna throw you to the dogs and get somebody else. They are. Now, the reality of it is, so many times, for many of the young black community, this is a means to get out of one state of living and get into another social economic level. So the economics, do y'all hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? The economics keep us chained to this slavery, keep us chained to this. I mean, we're really killing ourselves. And at the end of the day, if Sergio, which they claim they can't find out till after he's dead, will let the popo find him and fear for their lives, he's going to wake up dead. So then they can do the autopsy and then probably determine, oh, he had CTE. Oh, he had CTE after you killed it. So at the end of the day, Disco Darren said, I suffered 3 concussions playing football during your career. You had to go twice a year for your CT scan to make sure your brain functions good. And at the end of the day, I feel good that you are going twice a year. Kudos for that. And please continue to take care of yourself. So Disco Darren, that begs to be answered for me. If you can go get your CT scans every year, I still want to understand why they claim that they cannot diagnose and see CTE until after a person is deceased. Explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. Why can they not see CTE prior to a person's death? Because you don't want to see it. You don't want to see CTE. Because if you saw CTE and govern yourselves accordingly, it's going to have a direct impact on your coins. I'm watching you people. Come on in here and mad love to you. Welcome and welcome and welcome again. Thank you for coming in the Lions Den this morning. Nothing but mad love to you. So Tall Pumps, it's all about the money. They dangle that carrot to line their pockets. And at the end of the day, Miss LV, you're only going to get just a skim off the top. Do you understand? Even the situation, Disco Darren, I saw where, I really didn't want to talk about this, but I saw where Pence was interviewed about the Ford strike. And what he said, the question, matter of fact, I may have it in here. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I may have it in here. He was challenged on the fact, do you think it's okay that Ford leadership makes 362 times the salary of the workers? Now, back in whatever date they stated, it was like 20, 30 times what the people were getting paid. But now we're talking about the CEOs are making 365 times more. Baby, that ain't nothing but highway robbery. It's slavery, children. It's straight up slavery. I said what I said, and I'll add to it before I take it back. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to see that I put it in here. At the end of the day, why do we continue down this road? Explain it to me, Lucy. Why do we continue down this road? And you know whose children they're going to get out there and put. We're going to be the number one out there and have the least amount of care for our babies. So this is the part that I want us to really go back and begin to challenge ourselves. Why are we doing this? Why are we really, really, really doing this? And is it worth the sacrifice? Is it worth the sacrifice? Disco Darren said that's a lie. The former Chicago Bear great Dave Durson killed his wife and killed himself. They knew he had issues during his career. It was all about the money. And that's all I'm saying over and over again. It's horrible, C-Love. It's horrible. Now, I just want to know, at the end of the day, how many of us are supporting this slavery mill? Whoop, there it is. How many of us are going to continue to support this slavery mill? Now, I'm going to say, as I look at one reason, the Bishop of Twitch, who said he signed off on this a long time ago. But at the end of the day, there are many of us, that part right there, Michelle Brown, honey, I don't just throw shade, I shed light. How many of us are going to get off the slavery mill? Whoop. How many of us are going to get off the slavery mill? And that's whether you're talking about sending our children through. Because you know what? Many of these young people, their hope and their dream is to go pro. That's really their whole idea. They don't, you don't hear them saying, oh, I can become this and I can become that and change my status in life. For many of them, their only dream, their only aspiration is that those sports and their ability to play, without really realizing, listen, all it takes is one good injury and you're out. You understand the words that's coming out? It only takes one good injury and you're out. But their hope and dream, their whole entire energy is they want to make it pro. And if we go truthfully, how many of us as parents are pushing them that way? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? How many of us are pushing them that way? Come on, one reason. There are so many abusers in the NFL that they know about and don't care because they're bringing in the dollars. You better talk, one reason. Now, listen, let's go back. Oh, my goodness. I wasn't coming here, but since we're here, we might as well sit down. Since we're here, we might as well sit down. Because at the end of the day, this is what I want to inquire about. When we look at Sister Biles and all of those young ladies that testified and bore witness to the fact that those trainers and those doctors were sexually abusing them. And please don't think that's isolated. Please do not think that that is isolated. At the end of the day, I want us to stop and see. It's a travesty. It is a travesty. The call is, in retrospect, you're happy that your son stopped playing basketball and stopped chasing that dream. Listen, let me give this up for your son, because there's not many males that will do that. Because we're giving our kids over for this foolishness. And at the end of the day, and I'm going to say this, we know about the cover-ups and all of that, but I still have to say, it's almost like, I don't know if any of you have seen, there's a documentary out about the Boy Scouts. Could it be? Could it be? The devil. Baby, it ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. There is a story out about the Boy Scouts that they knew these sexual predators were abusing these kids openly since the early 1920s. So this is where I want us to say and understand within ourselves, am I just handing my child over to these people, and for what? When, please believe, anytime you have something involving young children and kids, pedophiles are hot on the trail. So if it's, listen, one reason, I'm telling you, when you hear the egregious stories of the Boy Scouts, when you hear the egregious, and I looked at those young, well, they're not young men anymore. I looked at those men and you can still see the pain. You can still see how wounded, how devastated, how tore up they are. Anytime you have something that's revolving around, and even the story that we stringently test, we stringently put through all of the examinations and this and that and the other. We go through the records. We go, and at the end of the day,
Why you always lying?
and pedophiles upon pedophiles. And I'm going to come back to this question. What makes us think that we can hand our children over to folks and let them do as they will? Baby, sometimes you need to perch your lips, your hips, and your fingertips right up in the midst and say, I ain't going nowhere. I wish I would. Because some of y'all can look at them folk and they look like pedophiles. They just drooling at. They just drooling and waiting for your child. They look like pedophiles. I said what I said, and I'll add to it if I take it back.
Welcome.
So at the end of the day, I want us to pay close attention. Why are we just turning our children over to these folk? And that includes our adult children as well. Why do we just chomping at the bit, my lock journey? Chomping at the bit. Why do we just turn our babies over to these establishments and people for them to do with as they will without supervision? I said what I said, and I'll add to it if I take it back. Now, I know I may be making somebody angry right here, but I'm talking real talk. And don't you fool yourselves. These men are out here getting the boys. Many of these baby boys have been just as molested as our baby girls. Let's stop with that lie. Let's stop with that deception. Many of these young boys are being molested, fondled, and sexually abused just as much as the little girls are. Stop believing the lie. And then you wonder why little Johnny's acting out. And they done had all the little Johnny's goods in their mouths and here and there. You understand the words coming out of my mouth. These are just little kids. Ooh, okay, let me keep going. Let me keep going. Because at the end of the day, I can't get no understanding. I cannot get any understanding. Now, explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. Now, I'm going to show this little story about the NFL player. Oh, Lord. Y'all, you remember your friend taking off work and sitting in the stands when her son attended a football camp back in the day. Her husband was mad. She didn't care. Dr. Dady, listen, ain't nothing wrong with it. And they can call you a helicopter mom and a helicopter dad. Now, see, I want y'all to pay attention, because a lot of times, the folks that don't have anything to hide don't care about you sitting in the stands watching your child. They said, take my blood pressure and hydrate. Let me do. Hoping they can get money through their kids that they didn't get. Come on. Carolyn White Green, come on in here. And you said a mouthful. Can I stop right there? For all of you all that are trying to live your hopes and your dreams and get the money that you couldn't get for yourself, vicariously living through your children, stop it. I said what I said. trying to vicariously live your hopes and your dreams through your child. Stop it. Trying to get your money through your child. Stop it. Now, right there, I'm gonna stop because listen, I want to talk about this because the Rebel Inc. had a phenomenal stream on yesterday. These kids feel pressure from the family to get them out of poverty. Listen, and you said the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God, Bronx Harlem girl. These kids feel the pressure to get their whole entire family out of poverty. And I heard somebody say this, Bronx Harlem girl, one of the athletes said, when I get paid, y'all say, we got money. But when I filed bankruptcy, they said, you broke. I'm going to say that once more and again for the people in the back that didn't understand it clearly. He said, when I was making bank and that paper was flowing, they said, we got money. But the minute he had to file for bankruptcy, they said, you broke. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Woo, y'all cheering. Let me roll this beautiful bean footage since I got it queued up, and then I'm gonna come back and talk about Rebel stream on yesterday because it bears talking about. Here we go.
$1 million man after signing the largest contract in NBA history. But did you know that some GMs in 2016 thought he was too smart to be an NBA player and that he'd get tired of it?
How can you be? Now, did y'all hear that? Did you all hear that? The owners thought he was too smart to be a ball player. I don't know if you caught that. The owners thought he was too smart to be a ball player. See, y'all let this stuff fly over your heads like you didn't hear what they just said. The owners said he was too smart to play ball. I'm gonna let that marinate. The owners said he was too smart to play ball. And the unspoken to that is that the ones that are playing ball are dumb. Now, and you all are all over this like ugly on the 8 because y'all telling the truth. Because that meant the call is he's way smarter than them. That meant they weren't going to be able to tell him anything, Bronx Harlem girl, and he would see all of their BS. That meant all of the above. And so at the end of the day, and he'll get bored, come on, an intelligent athlete, they need him gone. Ghetto, dumb, and desperate is how they want them. One reason. Because the more ghetto they are, the dumber they are, and the more desperate they are, the more they can rape, rob, and pillage and molest them. And listen, this is the thing even about that right there, one reason. When you get them ghetto, when you get them dumb, when you get them desperate, you can give them money and take money right in front of their eyes, and them poor babies don't even know, hey, they just took my money. Give them the money. And right before the players' eyes, take that money back and leave them poor, broke as Job's turkey, and the babies don't even know how they got broke. And a lot of this, y'all talking about them spending on themselves and well, they were wasting their money. No, a lot of these folks, managers and management, took the money. Show me the money. That's all they did. Show me the money. And desperate you are, the more I can molest you right in front of your eyes and you don't even know you're being molested. I said what I said, and I'll add to it if I take it back. I was so offended when I watched this. I am not even lying. I was so offended when I watched this and heard the statements that now this is the stuff they're going to say in the behind the closed rooms that they're not going to tell you to your face. But at the end of the day, he's too smart. I'm just so done. And then going back to the Buffalo Bills, if the black players don't like it, tell them to go back to Africa. Okay, let me move on.
They thought he had too many interests outside of basketball because he's an academic genius. Brown grew up in an academic-driven family, was at the top of his class in high school, and attended the University of California, Berkeley, the #1 ranked U.S. college on Forbes' list. All while being a college basketball star, Jalen was on the chess varsity team, took graduate classes as a freshman, and learned multiple languages, including Spanish. His love for learning didn't stop when he got to the NBA, though. Brown became the youngest person ever to hold a lecture at Harvard, became an MIT Media Lab Fellow, was offered a NASA internship, and became the NBAPA's youngest vice president at 22 years old in 2019. And when his historic contract was finalized, he was in a robotics section at MIT teaching students. The world truly is Jaylen Brown's oyster, and I'm excited to see the endeavors he gets into after basketball. Jaylen Brown is now...
And there you have it, folks. There you have it. Now, how many of you want to join in a bet with me? They're not gonna hire a lot of Jaylen Browns. You know why? Because even as they said, you got too much going on outside of football. You got this, you got that. That baby was continuing his education, and at 22, baby, he made big moves educationally. They don't want that. Oh, sure, Reddit. Let me cue it up again. I'm going to share this one more time, and I'm not going to talk. I'm going to just let it roll. Here we go.
Brown is now a $304 million man after signing the largest contract in NBA history. But did you know that some GMs in 2016 thought he was too smart to be an NBA player and that he'd get tired of it? They thought he had too many interests outside of basketball because he's an academic genius. Brown grew up in an academic-driven family, was at the top of his class in high school, and attended the University of California, Berkeley, the #1 ranked U.S. college on Forbes' list. All while being a college basketball star, Jalen was on the chess varsity team, took graduate classes as a freshman, and learned multiple languages, including Spanish. His love for learning didn't stop when he got to the NBA, though. Brown became the youngest person ever to hold a lecture at Harvard, became an MIT Media Lab Fellow, was offered a NASA internship, and became the NBAPA's youngest vice president at 22 years old in 2019. And when his historic contract was finalized, he was in a robotics section at MIT teaching students. The world truly is Jaylen Brown's oyster, and I'm excited to see the endeavors he gets into after basketball. Jaylen?
And there you have it. And one more time, I'm going to give it up for him. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to address what Disco Darren is talking about here. This is Mike Pence, and like I said, I really wasn't going to play this. I was debating whether or not, but this conversation is really not the political, but I'm really addressing, for me, the question that Tapper is putting to him, and he dances all around. Take a listen to this, and honey, if this ain't Diablo, I just don't know.
The auto workers strike.
Yeah,
You blamed the strike on President Biden's policies. Most Americans, 75% according to Gallup, support the strikers. As a general principle, do you think it's fair that the CEO of General Motors makes 362 times what a typical GM employee makes?
Well, let me say what I don't think is fair is that Joe Biden has put forward an economic agenda from the very outset that launched the worst inflation in 40 years. I mean, literally, the cost of living has gone up almost 17% since we left office. Their war on energy has caused gasoline prices to go through the roof, and I have no doubt in my mind that all those hardworking auto workers are living in the same reality every other American's living in, and that is wages are not keeping up with inflation. I also think that this green agenda that is using taxpayer dollars to drive our automotive economy into electric vehicles is understandably causing great anxiety among UAW members. These guys are seeing the Green New Deal that was passed under the guise of an Inflation Reduction Act. They're seeing it driving their industry into electric vehicles, benefiting China that makes most of our batteries. And I think they're pushing back rightly. And I also think the American people stand behind them in the numbers you suggest because we're all living in the failed reality of Bidenomics today, Jake.
But there's also this issue of general fairness. In 1965, during this era of the great middle-class expansion in the United States, CEOs made about 20 times what their typical workers made. But as I noted to you, the CEO of GM makes 362 times what her typical employees make. I just want to make sure I get an answer from you. Is that okay? Do you think that's fair?
Well, I think that ought to be left to the shareholders of that company. I'm somebody that believes in free enterprise. I think those are decisions that can be made by shareholders in creating pressure, and I'll fully support how these publicly traded companies operate. I'm not interested in government mandates.
Let's talk about the auto workers strike.
In a nutshell, you all heard the question. The question was, do you think it's fair that the CEO of General Motors makes 362 times what a typical GM employee makes? And whether you were clear or not, let me just help you. His answer was, yes, I think it's fair. All of that malarkey that he spit out there and danced around and said, basically what he said, one reason was, yes, I think it's fair. Mary Barr makes $24 million per year. So at the end of the day, all that dancing around, because he leaves it up to the shareholders, the stockholders, for them to decide. Well, what do you think they're going to decide? More money, more money, more money for me, less money, less money, less money for you. Because less money for you means more money for me. Are we stupid? The man said yes. He feels like he's perfectly okay that the CEO of General Motors makes 362 times more than what the workers make. Now, how many times do you think he's hitting the assembly line to work? How many times do you think he's reporting for duty and coming in to do something tangible? How many times do you think he's really or she's really adding to what's going on in the labor force? Absolutely. Honey, absolutely nothing. Say it again. But somehow or another, even though Yotel is doing nothing, even though Yotel is giving nothing, even though Yotel is sacrificing nothing, you're worth 362 times more what your workers are making. Explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. Now, if you heard what the statistic that he gave him, Jake Tapper said, back in the day during the boom and we saw the expansion, It was the common rate that those CEOs were making 20 times more than their workers. 20 times more than their workers. They are now making 362 times more than their workers. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Can I do it again? Can I do it once more and again? During the time of our economic boom, back in the day, those CEOs were making 20 times more than their workers. Today, in 2023, these CEOs are making 362 times more than their workers. And the question was asked to Pence, do you think it's fair? That's cut and dry, plain and simple. And I'm not trying to be partisan here. I'm not being partisan. In a recession, one reason. In a recession, they're making more money than ever. In a recession, these folks are making more money than ever. And what do they do exactly, Tall Pumps? They go on yachts. They have trips. They call in every now and again to see what the profits are. And they give themselves raises, obviously. We've gone from 20 times more than our employees to 362 times more money. Dimples 1920, good morning to you. And it's a shame. Listen, I'm going to give it to you. Because it really is a shame. It's a shameful God. And they ought to be shamed of themselves is all I can really say. They really, really, really ought to be shamed.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And you worked for a company that gave y'all a whole whopping 25-cent raise and wanted you to be happy with that 25 cents. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This is the kind of insanity that we're doing. And even if I go back to the whole idea of what we are enduring and, really co-signing, even when you start talking about what the players are making. Now this, I want y'all to just stop and think about this. If they're paying the players what they're making, stop, take a breath. How much money do you think they're actually making? I'm talking about these sports owners. If they're paying these players what they're paying them, they ain't going in the poorhouse. They're making profits. How much money do y'all really stop to think about that? How much money we poor folks and middle class folk that can barely afford it, how much money we're putting in these people's hands? How much money we're putting in these people's hands? Disco Darren said that's why we're fighting for a 46% pay increase, and we're not going to back down until we get it. Good for you, Disco Darren, and everybody. So this is why, I think we really need to stop and take a reassessment. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm really not trying to be partisan, but for every poor Republican that hears Mike Pence say, by not saying, he said it, it's okay for the market to bear 362 times what the salary of your worker and the labor is making. For you to hear the leaders of your party say that that's okay and you think it's fair, I just want to. I just want you to rethink your whole politics. I'm just saying, and I'm not even saying go Democrat, because honey, what are the Democrats saying, honey? Listen, at the end of the day, y'all gonna be mad at me for this. But at the end of the day, when you hear the man say, I'm for free market and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you think it's okay, because that was the direct question that was asked to you, sir. Do you think it's okay for the CEO to make 362 times more than what his labor and her labor is doing? At the end of the day, y'all, miss me with that. Now, I wasn't planning to go there cheering, but we ended up there, and oh well, it is what it is. Now, at the end of the day, I want to go back and I'm gonna address something that Rebel did on yesterday. There was another clip that I did want to show. I will do this one because on the positive side, because you know I'm gonna always, and I may have shown this one. I'm gonna show it again because I just I feel I want us to empower our babies. I've been posting the babies, and I'm gonna play this one again right here because I just like her for the energy and for the teaching that her mama has given you. And some of you have said you're doing the same thing with your children. Let's do more of this.
What is confidence?
Confidence is me believing in myself.
Give me 5. What is integrity?
Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is looking.
Give me 5. Are you a leader or a follower?
A leader.
What's the difference?
Because I think for myself.
Give me 5.
I just want more of that going on in our community. I really, really do. Start these babies as young as we can and put that in them. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. I think for myself, the whole thing. I'm going to, it's 8:53, so I'm just going to come here. Train them up, Rebel. Train them up. I'm going to come here just quick, fast, and in a hurry because I have so much more queued up, but I don't have enough time to really get into it like I would like to. So I'm going to come here. If you were in Rebel's stream on yesterday, and I think that was one of the greatest streams. Rebel, I want to give you, just for the courage to play that in your stream yesterday, the Kirk Franklin story and video. This is for Rebel. That's for you, Rebel. Rebel on yesterday basically played the video of Kirk Franklin Father's Day. It was absolutely marvelous. But when I tell you, the thing that I like about Rebel, she's very non-traditional. And for some, it can be offensive. For some, you think it's too much. For some, it's too much this, that, and the other. But when I tell you, make the judgments if you will. And can I come here in these last 5 minutes? While some of you all may have your own opinions, which a lot of it may be and comes from the way that you were raised and what you were taught and what you were told about how to do a thing, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, what you can say, what you can't say. And Rebel is that. She's a rebel. But one thing I will say about Rebel, what I saw happen in Rebel's stream on yesterday was powerful. If you have not seen, oh, yes. Who said that earlier? DJ Reg, who was that? If you have not seen Good morning to you, DJ Reg. Nothing but mad love to you. Come on in here, make yourself at home. DJ Reg is a streamer, y'all. And if you're not following DJ Reg, quit your wiggle eyes. Just quit them. Because listen, there's a blessing for your whole life. I promise you. Now, when I say, yes, DJ Reg, it's a great video. I want us to, when we talk about family dynamics, and T. Cooper, it was relevant to your life, sis. It was amazing. This is what I want to say, because this is a model that I hope you all will do, and I hope that you all will follow. You have a fingerprint that is unique to you. Leave your mark. You have a fingerprint that is unique to you. Leave your mark. I'm saying this from two angles, not only from the rebel doing it her way, but also from Kirk Franklin and everything that he's been through. And so, Dr. Dady, I saw you haven't seen it, so I'm not going to be a party pooper for you there. I'm not going to give you a spoiler because it is a very, very good video. But what he does and what he addresses is the trauma of his life. And at the end of the day, come on, Bronx Harlem girl, you have a unique fingerprint. Leave your mark. I love the fact that Kirk, out of his pain, out of his devastation, out of the drama of life. Come on, do you. That's all we're saying, Dr. Dady. And while we're saying this and wrapping up, I want all the streamers to put your information in before we get up out of here. Put your information in. I know Dr. Dady is coming on later on today. We want to support her. Put your time and your next stream in the chat, would you please, as we're wrapping up here. To all of the streamers that are here, I want you to know I appreciate you, and I appreciate you supporting us this morning. Now, Kirk did not allow his circumstances to shut him down. Kirk did not allow his circumstances to take his head out of the game. And that's where some of us need to regroup, because the things that happen, even I'll be speaking at my auntie's funeral on this Saturday morning. And one thing that I want to interject in that thought is my mother, my aunt, my uncle, those three, they had some circumstances, and I'm not going to go into the circumstances because it's nobody's business. But at the end of the day, I saw three people that absolutely positively refused to let the hand that they were dealt keep them from winning. Because you know what? If you know how to play the game right, you can have a losing hand and still win. Did I say something? If you know how to play the game and play the game right, you can have what looks like a losing hand and still win. I said something right there. Here we have Kirk, who, like my family and my ancestors and my family, who saw the reality of taking lemon and making lemonade and making it sweet, 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 sweet and tangy, making it almost irresistible. Listen, you have the ability and the capacity to do that. But that comes when you understand, I'm not going to allow this situation that has presented itself to me to keep me from putting my unique fingerprint on this earth and leaving my mark. This is something that I want all of us, as we go through this week. I appreciate everybody that's here. I've got more to show. We've got more to talk about, both from the historical aspect as well as current events. But what I want us to understand, especially as a Black people, I want us to understand, and this is for everybody, for anybody that's new in my channel, it's not racist, it's not reverse. I tell people all the time, the Black people's house is on fire. We didn't set it on fire, but it's on fire. And as a Black person, My house is on fire. I'm going to put the fire out of my house first before I go put the fire out of everybody else's house. Anybody that wants to get a fire extinguisher, anybody that wants to get a fire hose, anybody that wants to get a bucket of water, you're welcome to do that unequivocally. Everybody's welcome to help put the fire out. But I'm going to put the fire out of my house first before I ever start talking about putting the fire out in somebody else's house. So at the end of the day, we as a black people, we've always had the challenge. We've always had. Someone shared something with me that was celebrating the 3 black women, I think it was Kai Chick, that were on the podium and who were celebrating their win as first. And at the end of the day, this was met by so much racist backlash. Their color shouldn't matter. Why does it always have to be about race? Why? Listen, at the end of the day, this is what we're going to continue to do in celebrating ourselves. And if you look at a sport like gymnastics, if you look at this, that, and the other, if you look at just life in general, come on, professional firefighter, DJ Vader Mix, come on in here. I'm so mad in love with you. Thank you for putting the fires out, literally, and thank you for putting the fires out in the black community. So at the end of the day, this is why we celebrate. Because every glass ceiling that's put in front of us, we crash it. Do you understand what I'm saying? For every glass ceiling that's put in front of us, for every challenge that's meant to shut us down, for everybody that says that's not the way we do it, I don't agree, we just keep breaking the glass. We just keep breaking the ceiling. And I'm going to purport to you that's some of what makes some of the racist white folks so angry that no matter where and how they place that ceiling, we just keep breaking the glass. So that's where I want us to understand. This is why we celebrate. This is why why can't it just be 3 athletes? Because there was a glass ceiling that was put there against black people, and we're celebrating the fact that they broke the glass and we have no limits. And you can't stop me from celebrating our people. You can't stop me from saying do that again. You can't stop me from saying more of that. You cannot stop me from coming out and coming up, because that's the way I was born and that's what I was intended to do. I came here worthy, and I came here a queen. I came here a king. I came here a prince, and I came here a princess. That's the way we came here. And no matter how you want to look at me and say my hair growing out of my head is not right, you need to do something to it. No matter how much you want to say my lips are too big, no matter how much you want to say my nose is too wide and too flat, but y'all getting surgeries every day. I said what I said. As long as you want to talk about my hips, my lips, and my fingertips, as long as you keep wanting to put this glass ceiling in front of me, I'm going to keep breaking it. And every time I break it, I'm going to celebrate it and celebrate it again and celebrate it again. And that is what I want us to walk away with in this time. Rebel, I want to say to you, thank you for doing it the non-traditional way. But listen, folks, when I tell you, in all of that, what many of us, some of y'all would say, that was nothing but a bunch of foolishness over there. T. Cooper can testify, as well as myself and many others. What Rebel did in that channel on yesterday was nothing less than sheer deliverance. Deliverance ain't gonna look like what you think. It ain't a bunch of people greasy, pouring up blessed oil and greasing folks down like a piece of Church's fried chicken. Deliverance happened in Rebels on yesterday. And we're going to keep delivering ourselves. Honey, I hear Leandria, Lord, deliver me. Listen, at the end of the day, Rebel stay blessing. Rebel stays blessing. You understand the words coming out of my mouth? That's it. That's all. So at the end of the day, I want you, because that's Rebel's unique fingerprint. Y'all stop trying to imitate her. Stop trying to copy her, because you can't. That's her unique fingerprint. People are being set free over there, Shelly Thunder. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Absolutely, positively set free. At the end of the day, when I look at how unique we all are, and when I look at all of the things that we've come through and how, now you want some fried chicken. One reason, when I look at how we have come through and we keep breaking that glass ceiling, I'm going to say to you, everybody under the sound of my voice, you're not here by accident. You're not here by circumstance. Oh my goodness, I just wound up over here. No, and this is for everybody. And this it doesn't just mean by the amount of melanin in your skin. This is for everybody. But I'm especially talking to my black melanated brothers and sisters. You are intended to leave your mark with that unique fingerprint. Do not ever, ever, ever let a glass ceiling stop you. And with that, won't be this way always. Michelle Brown said with mac and cheese. This has been another edition of Yes You O Cube. What does O Cube stand for? One-on-one, it's just me and you. There are no boundaries. There are no limits, baby. You got the sky is the limit and the universe. Honey, do your thing. Leave your mark. I love everybody that came in here. I want to appreciate everybody that came in the house this morning. It is so awesome to have you here with me in the lion's den with the rest of the lions. Now listen, I want you to be the change. We're not looking for folks to change anything for us. We're going to be the change that we want to see. And this pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. At the end of the day, I want to say thank you to everybody that thought it well to come through. Listen, I got an attitude of gratitude because we're building something. To the new followers, thank you. To my moderators, the Rebel Ink, Shelly Thunder, Michelle Brown. Oh, you know I love me some y'all. You queens are the real deal. To Kim Blue and all of the Raiders that came through with you, come on in here. To everybody that gave on that hype train, I appreciate you because you didn't have to do it, but you did. Thank you so much because we're building something. To all the resubs, I thank you as well. Now listen, this song can be found by Regina Sims. Won't be this way always. You can find it on iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play, Spotify. If you want her to come, just go ahead and reach out. PRmusicgroup.com. I promise you, she'll bless your whole life. Now listen, my corporate sponsor, David Ryan Charity, where the motto is love on purpose. They out here in the world doing things. And thank you for making it possible for me to stream out here in these streets. Now listen, come go with us because we're going to do you good. We're going somewhere. Kim Blue, I really appreciate you. Mad love to you. And thank you once more and again. If you're not following Kim Blue, quick, show me your eyes, quit it, because listen, I'm telling you, you will be blessed. We're going somewhere, so get your bags, get your coats, because we're getting ready to go. DJ Vader Mix, thank you so much. Nothing but mad love to you. I appreciate you for coming in the house. I appreciate you, my brother. I really do. Now listen, we're going somewhere, and I want you to come go with us. We will do you good. Now at the end of the day, children, at the end of the day, you know what my moderators say. Have an amazing day on purpose. Do what you love what you do. Peace for your journey.